It's a great day to be an Ottawa Senators fan. The trade deadline this year just keeps giving and giving and giving. This has got to be the wildest trade deadline I've ever experienced. I mean, last night you had Patrick Kane going all the way to the New York Rangers, Jonathan Quick getting traded, Jonas Corposello, Ryan O'Reilly. The list goes on and on. Vladimir Tarasenko. But the Ottawa Senators have just acquired defensive Jakob Chychrun from the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for a conditional first round pick in 2023. I don't know why I clicked on that. A conditional second round pick in 24 previously acquired from the Washington Capitals, and a second round pick in 2026. The conditions are as follow. The 2023 first round pick is top 5 protected, so if Ottawa misses the playoffs, they still have a shot at Bedard. If met, the pick becomes the 2024 first round pick unprotected. Additionally, the Sens, if they reach the 23, so this year's Eastern Conference Finals, the second round becomes a first round pick, top 10 protected next year. If that condition is met, the pick becomes a 2025 first round. So a couple of conditions on this, but Chychrun is now the newest member of the Ottawa Senators, and as a Sens fan, this is just beautiful news. We didn't have to give up any players, didn't have to give up anything but 3 picks, potentially 2 first-round picks, but right now just listed as 1 first-round pick, so I'm okay with that. But wow, what a deal. The Ottawa Senators making a splash, pushing for those Stanley Cup playoffs, just 4 or 5 points out right now. But let's look at Chychrun. Let's look at his stats. So the one big issue, this is a weird font, the one big issue with Chychrun is he gets injured a lot. And when he's not injured, he is a phenomenal player. Only 24 years old, 6'2", 220, a big bad boy out there. His birthday's coming up, so about to be 25. But in his career, 373 games for 170 points. Minus 38, but he's been on Arizona his whole career. You know, what can you do? But this year he's actually having a good year when he's playing again. 36 games, 28 points, 7 goals, 21 helpers, 22 penalty minutes. He's got some power play time, so he's going to slot right in on that top 4 with the Ottawa Senators, playing with some sort of combination of Chabot, Zub, Sanderson, and Chychrun. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But let's take a quick peek at a little bit more of his stats. So rookie season, 20 points, 14 points in the season following where he's a +2. Only he's had a couple plus years, but on Arizona this year, he is a +8 for the games he has played. He's been out for a couple of weeks. Hopefully Ottawa can get him in the lineup right away. Ottawa's been talking about this trade. If you're a Sens fan or know anything about this trade, the Sens have been talking about this since the offseason. And the best part about Chychrun is he is on one of the best deals in hockey. I believe he's got 3 more years at about $4.5 million, give or take. Let's see if I can find it here very quickly. There it is. So he signed a 6-year, $27.6 million deal a couple of years ago. So there's, he's still good to go here. But what we're going to do, let's actually look at the trade tracker. Look at this. Let's go through this really quickly. I'll probably make a video more in depth, but Chychrun getting traded, Philip Roenick getting traded, Shane Gostisbehere for a 3rd-round pick. Lars Eller goes for a 2nd-round pick. There's the Corposello and Jonathan Quick trade, getting a 1st. Patty Kane going. Gustav Nyquist only for a 5th. What else? Matthias Ekholm. We got Luke Shen. Toronto made a wealth of trades here. Gustafsson, Pierre Engvall getting shipped off to the Islanders. Marcus Johansson. They got Jesse Puljujärvi, the big one for Jake McCabe. Isaac Ratcliffe, Tanner Janot, who went for a lot, Timo Meyer, Jack Johnson, Zach Dean, Nino Niederreiter, Kravtsov, Keith Kincaid, Shane Bowers, Craig Smith. Like, there has been so many trades. Dmitry Orlov. We got Zaitsev finally leaving the Ottawa Senators to make room for Chychrun. And then we got Julien Gauthier making a little bit more of a depth. Ryan O'Reilly, Vladimir Tarasenko. Like, this has been insane. Bo Horvat and Bolivar. Forgot about that trade. It's been so long ago. But this has been the most insane trade deadline. But let's go into in NHL 23. Let's put Chychrun on the Ottawa Senators, and let's see how far they can go. I know it's midseason now, but we'll pretend like he was on the team the entire year, and we'll see how far the Ottawa Senators can go with Jakob Chychrun, their newest defenseman. Let's go, Ottawa. Loading into NHL 23, here are your Ottawa Senators. First line left wing, we got the captain, Brady Tkachuk at 89 overall. Got 4 X Factors. Not quite a superstar X Factor, but a really good player nonetheless. He's been having a career year this year. I believe he's 25th in the league in scoring, tied with Tim Stützle actually. So that line's been really good. Tkachuk, you know what you're going to get. Big, strong forward. But in the middle, this has been the biggest jump for the Ottawa Senators. Timmy Stu is become an absolute point-producing machine for the Ottawa Senators. And obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but I mean, I think it's well known that Tim Stützle has taken the jump to becoming an elite player in the NHL. Over a point per game, 87 overall, superstar X Factor, drafted in 2020. Probably the best player from that draft class. And then the addition in the offseason, Alexander DeBrincat. Hasn't had the craziest year, but you know, he's been a little bit unlucky, hit the post a couple times, but still nonetheless a really good player. 89 overall, superstar X Factor. One of the best young guys in the league, especially at 5'8". He's got an unbelievable shot. Second line, Josh Norris, who's playing left wing here. He's been injured most of the year, but in this franchise mode, we're keeping him here. Claude Giroux, the free agency offseason signing of the year, in my opinion. He has been electric for the Ottawa Senators, really bringing a lot of veteran leadership to that team and producing very well. On the right side, we got Drake Batherson, who's on honestly one of the best contracts in the league. $5 million for the next 5 years. He's hovering around a point per game. The top 6 is looking absolutely marvelous. It drops off a little bit in the bottom 6, but Derek Brassard still serviceable. We got Shane Pinto, who's a really good young player, actually playing up here for Josh Norris while he's out. I'm a big Shane Pinto fan. Matthew Joseph, who was traded in the Nick Paul trade a couple of years ago, and then Parker Kelly, my least favorite player on the team by a landslide. Mark Kastelik, the absolute beauty. This guy dressed up as Jesus for Halloween, so you gotta love him. And Austin Watson, great first name. Defensively, here we go. Thomas Chabot, 87 overall. Honestly, in my opinion, overrated, but still a good player. And then there he is, Chychrun, and kind of weird that he doesn't have a superstar X Factor or any X Factors at all, but 86 overall. This is who we acquired. 3 years left, 2 years after this at $4.6 million. That'll take him up till he's 27 years old. So a really good player here. Those are his stats in game. So hopefully he can really produce for this squad. And then Jake Sanderson, one of the best young defensemen in the NHL. And then Artem Zub, probably my favorite defenseman on the team, even with Chychrun being at it. Then we got Nick Holden and Eric Branch, who's actually taken a big step up in his play this year on his last year of the deal. The only problem is in nets, Forsberg and Talbot. So not the best combination, but their overalls aren't too terrible. We actually have Maz Sogard, who's been playing really good for us. But let's get some simulation done. We'll simulate the year, see how the Ottawa Senators play. First game, we are on the road to Buffalo, where in real life we lost the game 4-1. Couldn't score anything past Craig Anderson. But in this new simulation, first period, that's not a good start, as Dylan Cousins scores the first goal of the season for the Buffalo Sabres. We are actually in them 10-5 though. Second period, oh god, 4-1. Derek Brassard gets one to even up, but they get goals from Middlestat, Jeff Skinner, and Cal Okposo. Heading into the third period, down 4-1. Talbot has not had a good game, but can we get any more production from our top 6? And it's the captain who gets one past Craig Anderson, Brady Tkachuk to make it 4-2. Boys, come on. One more goal to make it a game. One more goal to make it a game. Quick sim. They get one more goal at the end as an empty netter, but we fall in game number 1. But, you know, we can't go like that. The Leafs are 0-2. Let's give Leafs an 0-3 record here. Both teams looking for their first win on the regular season in Toronto. First period, that's what I'm talking about. Drake Batherson, Claude Giroux, Nick Holden, and then Timmy Stu. Matthews gets a goal, but look at that. Samsonov pulled in the first period. Second period, Parker Kelly and I believe Nick Robinson, and we'll just close. Oh man, that was quick. Morgan Riley and Gaudette to make it 5-4. But there's our first win of the regular season. I'm going to simulate halfway through the year, and I'll catch you guys there. Well, it doesn't look like NHL 23 likes the Ottawa Senators' chances of making the Stanley Cup playoffs, as we go 30, 46, and 6. So not a great year at all with the trade. Thank God we're not playing this bad in real life. It was the goals against average. We were letting in 3.5 goals per game. Power play was terrible. Penalty kill was terrible. Everything was terrible, but that's okay. Thank God that this is not real life. But let's look at the points here. Tkachuk leads the way with 76. Stewie Stutz with 75, DeBrincat 75, Giroux 66. Everyone's kind of a minus player here. That second line got absolutely torched. Minus 28, minus 21, minus 19. Kind of surprising there. And Chychrun, 32 points in 82 games. So a terrible season. But what do you think of the Ottawa Senators? Do they make the Stanley Cup playoffs this year? Is it a good trade for them to acquire Chychrun, a defenseman? Or do you think it was a bad move? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next one. See ya! Go Sens, go! Woo!